Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. A lot has been happening in the cryptocurrency space over just the last week. Coinbase has really been at the center of it after the SEC filed a lawsuit against the company, accusing it of violating a number of securities laws. A lot of them really come down to the fact that Coinbase was offering tokens to customers that the SEC says are securities and was offering staking services as well. So does this mean that Coinbase's future is a lot dimmer than it was just a week ago? Is this a buying opportunity? How should we think about this? That's what I want to dig into today. My name's Travis Hoyam. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And I'll put a link in the show notes to a deep dive that I did on Coinbase just about a week ago. So very recent and hopefully very timely for investors. But I want to go through exactly what we found out over the past week. And I'm going to start with just a few headlines. This is the SEC filing. SEC charges Coinbase for operating as an unregistered securities exchange, broker, and clearing agency. A lot of this ultimately goes back to the kind of products that you could buy on Coinbase and whether or not those were securities or commodities. That's the ballot battle that's been going on between the CFTC and the SEC. The SEC really took it to the next level by filing this lawsuit. But I want to show a few other things that happened this week that are related. Binance was also sued. It's being reported that they're going to be halting dollar deposits after their SEC crackdown. This is from Reuters. CoinDesk is reporting that Robinhood said they asked the SEC if they could register, and the SEC basically gave them a stiff arm, a lot like they did with Coinbase. And even some of the developers related to blockchain development, who would be the ones accused of actually selling the security itself, not operating the exchange, but selling the token that the SEC thinks is a security. Cardano was one of those, and they have said that these claims are not valid. While this may have been a shock, for those of us who have been following this industry for a long time, this has really been something that has been coming for probably years at this point. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, has been asking for regulatory clarity both from the SEC, from the CFTC, and from Congress, and it just hasn't happened. Meanwhile, we've found out that the SEC has been working on something like a lawsuit. They gave a Wells notice to Coinbase, which usually means that some sort of charges are coming in the future. And that's exactly what we see here. So what exactly is going to happen? Well, we're going to find out in court. And that's the reality for Coinbase's future in the US. Brian Armstrong has said that they will fight this in court, thinks that the law is going to be on their side. We don't know what the outcome of that is, but court cases have actually gone against the SEC in multiple cases in the US when they've tried to convince judges that certain tokens are securities. And we're in kind of a gray area. And that's the challenge with these digital assets, is that it's not quite a security like a stock. It's not a commodity like some oil or gold. It's something in between because it's a digital asset. At the same time that this battle is going to be going on in court, we may see some movement in Congress. This may actually move Congress to make some sort of new laws or provide clarity to the SEC about what is a security and what isn't. We know that lobbying has been happening for years, so I would expect that to move forward. The other thing to keep in mind is that Coinbase is not just a US company. This is a company that has global operations. The exchange they operate in the US is where a vast majority of revenue has come from historically. And also the USDC token has provided hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue just in the last few quarters. And that should be a big business for Coinbase this year. But the company has been expanding in other parts of the world, and other countries are putting laws in place that are going to be more crypto friendly. So providing that regulatory structure or the laws that are required that companies can register and actually operate a business in the crypto space. So Coinbase is moving into places like the UK and Hong Kong. I think those provide a lot of growth opportunities for Coinbase. The other thing to keep in mind is that the long-term growth potential for Coinbase is probably not in being an exchange. That's typically not a very high margin business long-term. Where the company is actually growing and providing really solid margins is in their subscription business. So offering services to companies that are building things with the blockchain. So financial transactions, staking, hosting, security, wallets, all kinds of services that Coinbase is bringing to the market. Now, if the SEC cracks down, maybe the US market shrinks, but those kind of markets can actually grow up in a lot of other areas. And so a lot of these products can be brought to other markets. So I don't think Coinbase dies as a business, but this is going to absolutely be a headwind for the foreseeable future. The upside, I think, and the reason that I highlighted this on asymmetric investing is that if Coinbase wins this battle, then the floodgates really open up. especially if actions like this really hurt a competitor like Binance. Remember, a year ago, it was really three companies, Binance, Coinbase, and FTX, who were in the market. FTX is gone. Now, Binance could be in trouble because it's facing some of the same challenges that FTX did. Halting withdrawals is not a good sign for any company. Coinbase hasn't done any of those kind of things. They're publicly listed. We know their financial statements. So I think it's in a very different position. So if this market does end up growing in the US, around the world, I think Coinbase will be really well positioned. But that's the big if. So what you're betting on with Coinbase is the future of the blockchain, the future of Web3 type technology. There's no guarantee that that exists 5 or 10 years from now. I'm bullish on that technology being valuable in the future. And that's the reason that I own shares of Coinbase. But there's absolutely a risk involved in that. So I think everybody should be aware of that. But what did you think about the actions against Coinbase? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to follow Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.